Did you know that the richest person in history wasn't Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or even a European king? It was an African emperor named Mansa Musa. His wealth was so vast that when he traveled, he gave away so much gold that it crashed economies. But how did he gain such unimaginable riches? And why is his empire, the Malian Empire, rarely talked about today? This is the story of an African kingdom that was wealthier than Europe, and a king whose generosity left a mark on history. Long before European empires rose to dominate the world, Africa was home to powerful civilizations. One of the greatest was the Malian Empire, which thrived in West Africa from the 13th to the 16th century. It all began with the fall of the Ghana Empire, an earlier West African kingdom that controlled major trade routes. As Ghana weakened, a warrior named Sundiata Keita led a revolt and established Mali around 1235 CE. Under his leadership, Mali expanded, taking control of key trade centers, including Timbuktu and Gao. What made Mali so powerful? The answer is gold. Mali controlled nearly half of the world's gold supply at the time. In an era when gold was the foundation of wealth, this meant Mali was one of the richest states on earth. But while Sundiata Keita laid the foundation, it was another ruler, Mansa Musa, who took the empire to unimaginable heights. Mansa Musa became emperor in 1312 CE, and his reign lasted 25 years. The title Mansa means king or ruler, and Musa ruled at the height of Mali's power. So how rich was he? Some estimates suggest that, adjusted for inflation, his wealth could be over $400 billion, more than any modern billionaire. But unlike today's wealth, his riches weren't stored in stocks or bank accounts. They were in gold, land, and trade networks. Mansa Musa controlled the gold mines of Bambouk and Bure, where thousands of workers mined gold that was exported across Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. His empire was also a major producer of salt, another highly valuable resource at the time. Mali's strategic location meant it dominated trade routes connecting Africa to Europe and Asia. But Mansa Musa wasn't just wealthy, he was deeply religious. As a devout Muslim, he decided to embark on a pilgrimage to Mecca. What happened next would make him famous worldwide. In 1324 CE, Mansa Musa began his legendary journey to Mecca. But he didn't travel alone. His caravan included 600 men, including soldiers, officials, and servants. 200 slaves, each carrying 4-pound gold bars. 80 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold. As he passed through cities, he spent and gave away gold so freely that he wrecked entire economies. In Cairo, Egypt, he gave out so much gold to the poor that the price of gold dropped for over a decade, causing inflation that affected the entire Middle East. Historians say he built mosques, schools, and libraries along his journey, turning cities into centers of learning. This pilgrimage wasn't just about religion, it was a statement to the world that Mali was a superpower. His journey was recorded by Arab scholars and traders, and Mali became famous across Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe. In fact, by the late 14th century, Mali appeared on European maps for the first time, with Mansa Musa depicted as a black king holding a gold nugget. But what happened when he returned? After his return, Mansa Musa used his wealth to transform Mali. He built the Great Mosque of Dijen, one of the most famous landmarks in Africa today. But his greatest investment was in education. He established the University of Sankore in Timbuktu, attracting scholars, scientists, and theologians from all over the Islamic world. Timbuktu became one of the greatest centers of learning in history, housing thousands of books and manuscripts, some of which still survive today. At its peak, Timbuktu rivaled European cities like Paris and Venice in knowledge and culture. Mali became a beacon of prosperity, innovation, and scholarship. However, like all great empires, Mali eventually declined. After Mansa Musa's death, his successors struggled to maintain control, and by the late 16th century, the empire had fractured. So why isn't Mansa Musa as famous as other historical rulers like Julius Caesar or Genghis Khan? One reason is that much of African history was passed down orally, meaning fewer written records survived compared to European and Asian civilizations. Another reason is colonialism. When European powers colonized Africa, they focused on erasing or downplaying pre-colonial African civilizations. But thanks to archaeology, historical research, and preserved manuscripts, Mali's story is being rediscovered. Mansa Musa's story proves that Africa had powerful empires, advanced economies, and centers of knowledge long before European colonization. His wealth was legendary, but his true legacy was in education, culture, and architecture. But here's the question: what if Mansa Musa's empire had never declined? Would Africa's history have been different? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos on forgotten African civilizations. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.